Good morning, happy Tuesday. So we're talking about the power of focus and how significant it is in terms of where your life goes. And it is as significant as anything else that we talk about. Just remember, where focus goes, energy flows. And I have a story and an example to give you an idea about that today. So the first is the story. So there's a stretch of highway from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. It's out in the desert. It's in Death Valley, and I've driven it multiple times. It is now the most dangerous stretch of highway in the United States because, well, back before COVID, everybody from California would drive to Las Vegas, and then, of course, they don't sleep, and they're on all kinds of drugs, and they're tweaking and twirling and whatever, and they're in Ferraris and Lamborghinis and all this crazy stuff. And so on the way back, the way there isn't so bad, but on the way back, literally you see people. I mean, it's insane. They'll literally be off the road driving 1,000 miles an hour. You just have to pay very close attention on that highway. But every now and then somebody falls asleep and just goes off the road. Now, this area, there's nothing when you go off the road. I mean, nothing. Literally, it's just desert. Not like Saudi Arabian desert, but it isn't desert like Arizona. It's not like there's a ton of cacti and plant. There's just nothing. It's just rocks. So if you go off the road, except in a few areas, you literally can just go off the road. And then nothing much would happen other than it wouldn't be the best for your car, but that would be about it. Well, about every mile, there is a large electric pole or utility pole. And it's big. It's 8-10 feet around. It's one of these giant steel guys. It goes way the heck up in the air because it's a long haul from Vegas to California. It's about 4.5 hours. And halfway in between, there's a fairly large city. There's a 100,000 population city. Can't imagine living there. I don't know why anybody lives there. And they have all kinds of stuff. They got all the stuff. I don't know how the heck they get it all there. I don't know where water comes from, but oh my God, talk about where I would never want to be. But so they got to get power to this place. Plus, most of the power that's generated for Las Vegas is actually generated in California. Google generates it through this solar plant that they built just on the other side of the border because Nevada wouldn't let them build it in Nevada because the Nevada power companies got the politicians in Nevada to block it. So Google built it just across the border, and all of Las Vegas is now powered by solar, and it's actually solar that's created by steam. They're pretty impressive to drive by. So they had to get this power all over the place. So there's these big poles. And the poles are a mile apart, okay? They're a mile apart. So there's all the room in the world in between these poles. But people fall asleep and they go off the road, and every time, what do? They run right smack dab into the middle of the goddamn pole. Every time. And when they interview them, it's always the same thing. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, next thing I knew, I hit the pole. Well, what happens is they go off the road, and then, of course, they wake up, right? They fall asleep because they haven't slept for 2 days. Then they go off the road. Well, the roads, now they're on rocks, so it's very bumpy. So they wake up, and what do they think? Don't hit the pole. Don't hit the pole. Don't hit the pole. Don't hit the pole. Pole. Bam. Right smack in the middle of the pole. Whatever we focus on is what we get. And when you focus on what you don't want, that's what you're going to get. If you ask yourself questions like, how come I can't ever lose any weight? Okay, your brain's going to subconsciously give you an answer. It's going to be an answer you don't like. It's going to be something like, well, because you're a pig. Well, because you have no self-discipline. Well, because blah, 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 blah. If we focus on what we don't want, that's what shows up in our life. When we focus on what we want, then all of a sudden that will start showing up in our life. This is the reason that we put goals in front of ourselves all the time, and especially first thing in the morning, and say, this is where I want to go. If all we do is worry about the things that are going to go wrong, then that's what happens. And you've met somebody, maybe you know this person very well, you've met somebody that perpetuates the bad in their life, where they talk about things never work out for me. It does never work out. It always seems to not work out. And then they keep incanting that. That's their incantation. And then it doesn't work out, and they're like, see, it didn't work out. See, I told you it wasn't going to work out. Well, yeah. Well, if you never create space in your life for it to work out, then it's never gonna. So you're right. You're going to be right. So good for you. You now have been correct that it hasn't worked out in your life. And so your life is going to be one nonstop thing of everything not working out. But if your life becomes the other way, I had an experience as a kid. I actually won on Bozo's Circus. Those of you who might remember what Bozo's Circus was, they had a kid that played at home. You had to mail in a postcard. It took me a week to fill out the postcard because I was in second grade. I got a postcard. My grandmother got me a postcard from Freeport, Illinois, and it took me a week to get the thing written down. And I gave it to my dad, and I was like, please mail it in, please mail it in. And he's, oh, come on, that's ridiculous. There's 80. You see how many postcards are in that thing? There's no way that you're going to get picked. This is a waste of money. This is a waste of time, blah, 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 blah. Come on, Dad, please mail in my postcard. So he mails in the postcard on Friday, and they drew my name on Wednesday. And I was the kid that played at home. And there was one person in the school that actually had a VHS recorder. His dad owned a insurance company, and he recorded it. So we all got to watch it. The kid got to bucket number 3 and missed bucket number 4. I got 6 Bozo buttons and a whole bunch of stuff. Actually, I wish I still had the Bozo buttons. But after that happened, I considered myself lucky because everybody kept telling me, wow, you're so lucky. I can't believe that they drew your card with all of those things in there. And so I kept perpetuating that. When I would enter into contests, I would say, I'm lucky. And I have won more contests. I've won bikes. I've won trips. I've won money. I got to the point with drawings where I was like, I'm not going to put my name in because I'm going to get drawn, and then people are going to get upset because I get drawn, and it's like, oh yeah, just what you need to win something else. But it perpetuated itself because I had the belief. What happened? I took more action. I was willing to enter more contests because I was like, yeah, I'm going to win these things. Now, did I win everything? No, I probably just entered a lot more contests, so I was a lot more likely to win. But these things perpetuate themselves. So wherever you focus is what's going to happen. And I'm not saying to go out and become successful by winning a bunch of things. I'm just saying that the energy that you give out is what you give back. And it's not just that you create a space, but you're also, when you have that belief and that's your focus, you're going to put more action in that area. I engaged in a lot more drawings because I had a belief that I was a lot luckier. So I was going to be able to win more things, and I did. Let's do one more example of what it's like, the power of focus. So you're probably in some place that you're pretty familiar right now. If you are, and if you're not driving, and if you can do this, I want you to take a look around the room, and I want you to look, and this is going to be fast, so do it quickly, okay? I want you to look around the room, and I want you to look for everything that is brown. Look for brown. Look for brown around the room. Look for brown, brown, find brown, brown. Look for brown, brown all over the place. Make sure it's brown, 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 brown. And close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. Now, visualize, and if you can't visualize, just feel it. I will tell you that everybody can see pictures in their head, but most people, if they think they can't see pictures, it's just because they move too quickly. But visualize everything in the room that was red. Yeah, I fooled you a little bit. Everything that was red. Now, everything that was green. Okay, open your eyes. Now look around, and first look for the red in the room that it didn't dawn on you was there. So there's red, there's red. There's some red in that bowl. There's a red cloth right there. Those are kind of red. There's red on the live. Oh, red on my cup. Now, how about green? There's some green over there with my vegetables, which means there's going to be green right there because that's the composting vegetables. Oh, there's some green up there. Now, I will bet all of you that there was a lot more red than what you can remember. And the reason is because you were focusing on the brown. And I'll also bet that there were things that actually weren't brown, but you considered them brown so that you made yourself correct. So there was beige and there was sand colors, but you considered them brown because you were like, yeah, that way I'm right and I'm going to be good. A lot of us walk around and focus on the brown. We focus on the stuff that we really don't want. We don't focus on the green. We don't focus on the red. We don't focus on the yellow. And we're deletion creatures. If you don't focus on it, your brain cuts it off and pushes it away because we can't take in everything. There's just way too much. You know, right now there's a lot of negativity out there, but could you find positive stuff if you wanted to? Of course, there's tons of it. But we don't look for it. The news doesn't sell positive because positive doesn't sell. The news sells tragedy and conspiracy theories and drama. As I said, even the Weather Channel has to do that. They even have to talk about catastrophic events. They can't just tell you the weather. It's got to be something catastrophic. Otherwise, people don't get any attention because we're so numb to all of this anymore. So when you wake up in the morning, you can focus on the brown, or you can focus on the green and the red and the yellow and focus on the things that you do want. Where focus goes, energy flows. And whatever you believe, then more action is going to be taken towards that. And with that action is going to become more outcome. With that outcome is going to become more belief. With that belief is going to become more action. It's a perpetuating cycle. So as we enter election day, get out and vote, everybody. If you haven't voted, focus on what's good. Focus on what is positive that's out there. And don't tell me nothing is, because there is. And when you wake up in the morning, your choice, but if you want, choose to focus on the green and the red and the yellow and the things that are great, as opposed to the brown. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.